So briefly, talk about, again, now you can't, you're going to be out there doing it, so
Sure.
we're going to capture some of that too,
Yeah,
so
of course.
you don't have to try to say it all here, but, giving that advice to the new people trying to make it in the business, those new artists and stuff, if you could, just give them a couple little nuggets, that you'd say, hey, these are some things to start thinking about, or to some, I guess, putting in your mind resource-wise, from the book.
Well, the most important thing that anybody can do is to realize that you have so little time to impress somebody. You've actually done the research, and you have about 7 seconds to impress your audience with your song. If you think about the volume of music that's released nowadays, it is physically possible for you to hear only 5% of the recorded music that comes out in a given year. 5%. And that's just 5% every single week, and so that's presuming you listen to songs only once and listen 24/7. It's just impossible. So most people are overwhelmed by the amount of choices, and if a song doesn't grab them immediately, they don't want to spend the time to try to see if the song may grab them or see if it actually holds some weight. They really move on to the next thing because they don't have the time, and with that they make an opinion very quickly. So there's a lot of people who will make opinions on whether or not they like a song by really only listening to about 10 seconds of it. So it's very incumbent upon everybody to really get in there and listen to a song very, very quickly and impress somebody from the beginning. The whole days of nice long introductions, setting the mood, all of that kind of stuff, that just no longer exists.
Now, is there anybody working with people on that? I mean, obviously, knowing all that information and trying to help these producers and the songwriters and everybody. I mean, even is there who's out there putting this to help? I mean, obviously, your book and saying, hey, this is what you need to be looking at. But
Yeah.
Is there anybody who's actually coaching people on this process? And
There's, right now, this is basically a brand new theory that's coming out there. And a lot of people who are very creative people who are very resistant to formula are very resistant to be thinking about it. But I know several major record labels that have been utilizing this theory for at least a year now, and all of these record labels are finding success with it. If you actually go and look at the top 50 selling downloads of 2010 so far, and look at the average length of the introductions for those top 50 downloads, their intros are about 7 seconds long, which is exactly, it averages out, which is exactly what it talks about in my book, is saying you've got to impress somebody within 7 seconds. And the amazing thing is that nearly 1 out of every 3 new song downloads are coming from that top 50. It's a staggering statistic, but the hits are really very, very heavily weighted towards the top in terms of what's driving the sales and what's driving commerce right now. So, and I think a lot of that has to do with these intros, and the more songs that actually are made, just like songs used to be made for radio, the more you can make a song that actually plays into the way people discover music in the digital age, the more likely then financial rewards are going to come back. I mean, Lady Gaga and Taylor Swift have each made hundreds of millions of dollars in revenues just on recorded music alone. The music industry is not in bad shape if you can have artists that do that. You just have to make more artists have to utilize their creativity in a way that's actually going to drive those sales and drive those revenues.
Awesome. Dude, that's great.